Hello everyone, welcome back to Drawing 1 and Drawing 2. In this video I'm going to talk about how to photograph your drawings for submission. So I'm going to ask for you to photograph each drawing that you make to send to me for feedback, as well as to post to our discussion board for, group feedback and everything like that. Now, one of the first main things that I ask that you do when you photograph your drawing is that you photograph it on a vertical surface here, okay? So this is where your drawing board can come in handy, because one of the problems of, trying to photograph it laying down flat like this is that, when we're holding our phone over it, well, we just cast a shadow because the light's usually going to be overhead. So now we've got a big old shadow across the surface of our photograph of our drawing. So we want to avoid that. So what we want to do is attach it to our board and photograph it vertically like this, or at least somewhat. We can kind of prop the board up some and everything like that. Now, that being said, once again, when we are photographing vertically, we want to consider where our light is coming from. So right now, the light in this room is basically just behind and above the camera that I'm using. And, I would take a sample photo, but I'm also using my phone to record this. But let's consider my hand is my phone. Well, if I'm standing here with my hand between the light and my drawing, well, I just put another big old cast shadow across my drawing, and my photograph of it is no longer clear anymore. So I've got this big shadow across it. Well, that's a problem. So what I want to do is step back and take the photo from just far enough away that the shadow isn't going to be an issue. Or I want to consider where my lighting is and everything like that. So usually what I would do is I would situate my drawing board like in the room I'm filming in. If I was trying to take a photograph in here, I would situate the drawing board on one side of the light, and I would be sitting on the other side of the light. So the light would be kind of in the middle, in between me, the camera, and the drawing, all right? And that way, I'm not casting any shadows across it when I try to photograph it, all right? So let's say I was, have it here. Well, I would stand basically where the camera is at right now, and that's where I would take my photograph because it's not interfering with, my perception of the drawing if I'm pretending this is my drawing here. So that's something that we really want to do. Now, something else to keep in mind is that, I'm in this room right now, but I have kind of beige walls, taupe walls, whatever, and my light bulb is a little bit yellow. So that's going to affect how my drawing looks, all right? Now, aside from that, I can also take my board out into natural light, so like a nice kind of overcast day. Like I usually don't like it to be like, bright and sunny, but there's a little bit of clouds, especially if it's lightly overcast. It's a really nice time to photograph your drawings outside. Aside from that, like let's say it's raining or something, you can also use an open window as a source. In that case, I would situate your drawing parallel to the window. So if this was my drawing, I would have the window like right here so that the raking light from the window crosses across the drawing. Whereas, if it was where the camera is and I'm standing here, once again, I put a shadow onto it or vice versa. So we want to consider those kinds of things. We want to try to take photographs that are very clear of our drawings, that don't have shadows across them and all of that kind of stuff, all right? So that's just something to keep in mind. And once again, something else that we can potentially use is our shop light. If we remember from the supply video, we can use the shop light to put extra lighting onto our drawing and take a photo of that. Now, in that case, I would also suggest that you use the spotlight from a little bit of a distance away, especially on, graphite and things like that. It tends to create a sheen across the drawing, which obscures it somewhat. And, if you don't believe me, try taking a picture with the spotlight really close and you'll see what I mean. But once again, we want to try to be able to see the drawing in its entirety very clearly, and we want to be able to see it without shadows or other things cast across it. So these are just things to keep in mind. And once again, if you're having any trouble photographing your drawings for me, let me know and we can talk about other ways to go about doing it in a very clear, precise kind of manner, okay? So, that's all I've got for this video, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.